Okay. Welcome to the Soccer Podcast Show. I'm your host, Paul. I'm joined here by my co-host, Noel. So, Noel, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
No problem, Paul. How are you?
Yeah, now we're looking this Wednesday night, the 31st of May. We have the preview of the Europa League Final. We have Sevilla, the experts from Spain in this tournament, against Roma. So, what are your thoughts on this final?
Massive game for both clubs, Paul. Sevilla, from where they were in the start of the year, if you told them that they would be in the Europa League Final and have a chance to get back into the Champions League, I think it was snapped the head off because they were very, very, if I'm not mistaken, a very, very poor earlier on the season. I think they were down there in the second half. They were down in the near the relegation zone for a bit of it, but they recovered well. I think that win against United has really, really boosted their season. Now they're in the Europa League Final with Roma. Mr. Mourinho again, specialist in cup finals. I don't think he's lost a cup final. I'm up to correction on that, but he's a man for the big occasion. He's been saying there lately over the last couple of weeks. He did a press conference where he was asked by his former clubs, and he was saying that the only clubs where he didn't win a trophy was Tottenham, and he said it was the only club that he didn't have any connection to. So a slight dig there,
slight dig indeed, yeah.
So he's going into a cup final now. He loves the attention. I wouldn't say like a bit like Big Sam. He loves all the attention on himself, but he has the tin to back it up. He's got the trophies in his back pocket. I think this is going to be a really tight game, but even though there's a specialist in this competition, Paul, I just feel with Marino with these teams, if he can get ahead a 1-0, he'll take a 1-0 all day, every day. I just think Roma might just edge it. I think it's going to be a bit cagey because the Bayern Leverkusen Roma second leg, it was a classic 0-0 draw. Very few chances in the game. Roma, who are 1-0 up from the first leg, so they didn't really have to go chase anything. The only thing is, if Sevilla want to score first, Roma will have to sort of change their approach, because I always found with Mourinho that he's a better coach leading from the front. So basically, if he can get ahead, he'll shut up shop and take a 1-0 win all day long. The only thing is, can he change his outlook technically, where if they go 1-0 down and they have to sort of chase it again in the second half, will he be brave enough to, bring on more forward-thinking players and try and get that equalised? It's something he's been accused of in the past, that he doesn't go for games enough when his teams fall behind. And I think though with Mourinho being there as manager, I think Roma will just edge it. If they score first, I think you can nearly nail on that Roma will do enough. Maybe a bit of the dark arts, a bit of time waste and stuff like that, where he'll just maybe edge it against Sevilla.
Yeah. Now, if you look at Sevilla, you mentioned they're the experts in this competition, and even before that, the UEFA Cup, the previous incarnation of this tournament. But they're the experts in this Europa League. Did they win 2 or 3 in a row back there a number of years ago?
They won 3 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. I think if I'm not mistaken, Emery was there in for either 2 of them or all 3 of them. I'm not really sure. They won this in 2020 as well against Inter Milan, if I'm not mistaken. So they have an unbelievable record in this competition. They've won it for the last 6 or 7 years or something like that. I'm not sure of the record, but the record is absolutely brilliant to have in this competition.
Yeah, and in fairness to Sevilla is a big city. I know there's another club there as well. I'm not sure what it is, but anyway, they're a huge club. I said, like, I suppose in Spain, if Barcelona and Real Madrid kind of, they overshadow the other club, but there's some great teams in Spain, we'll say. So it's very hard. But I would say Real Madrid and Barcelona, not alone they're known in Spain and Europe, all over the world. You'll see people supporting them. So the other clubs in Spain, they're very strong clubs, great history, great tradition, great knowledge, and how to win in the big days. So sometimes we can maybe underestimate them, you know.
Well, you're right, Paul, because there's very rarely a European final, Paul, where a Spanish team isn't in it. Champions League or Europa League. Now, I know, obviously,
you go back to them the day in the Cup Winners' Cup back day and the UEFA Cup back in the day. They were always there and thereabouts.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Sevilla, don't forget their 2 seasons ago, Villarreal got to the Europa League final, beat Man United on penalties. Sevilla, numerous times, have won this competition. I'm not sure that Deportivo get to final a good few years ago as well. So they are specialists in European football. You know, they know how to navigate your way through the knockout rounds as well. So I just feel this will be a really tight game. As I said, particularly if Roma score first, this could be a 1-0 written all over it, with Sevilla being frustrated more and more with Roma defending, and maybe Roma hitting them on the counter attack. But it's going to be a great occasion. It's the first final. It's the first final of three: the Europa League, then the Europa League, then the Conference League, and then the Champions League finals. We've an Italian team in all three. Roma in this one, then Inter Milan, and then Fiorentina against West Ham United for the Conference League final. So Italian football is, you could say, is on the up, particularly in European competitions. But if you ask, and I think Roma, if you ask me to call, Paul, I would say Roma might win it. I don't know, how would you feel? Who gives you the edge?
Yeah, but if you look at it, Sevilla, they beat Manchester United in the quarter-final, hammered them. They got a 2-2 draw away, hammered them at home. Big win over Juventus in the semi-final. 1-1 away. They won that.
1-1 away, yeah.
Yeah, Manchester United, Juventus, they are big names, so they won't be one bit. As I said, their record in the tournament, but their form is good in the big tournament, in this tournament, quarter-final, semi-final. So they're going in form. Where's the final on now? Do we know? Have we?
Oh, I've totally gone blank.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I know where it is.
Anyway. Yeah, Sevilla will not be one bit afraid of it. They'll be confident. I won't say arrogant, but they'll be definitely confident. There's no doubt about that, you know. They'll be confident about it. I think they have a good chance. As you said, I suppose it's an old cliche in soccer. The first goal is crucial. It's always crucial, but particularly in this, and particularly as you said with Marino over Roma, if Sevilla get ahead, then all of a sudden they'll take off. The confidence will flow. Roma will have to do something. But if Roma get ahead 1-0, it'll be, I won't say it, but it'll be, you load the game, then Roma and Marino will have them drilled to try and wind the game down. But I will have to go for Sevilla just on the fact their record in the tournament is great. Their form beat Manchester United and Juventus in the quarter-final and semi-final. And again, on these clubs in Spain, apart from Barcelona and Real Madrid, they're very big clubs, big histories. They're well used to winning. So I would just give a slight nod to Sevilla, but not by much. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think if you look at the teams that they've played, they probably have had the harder route. I just think with a certain Mr. Jose is that he navigates himself so well through these cup finals. I think in three of the finals that he has won, 2 Europa Leagues and 2 Champions Leagues. If I'm not mistaken, they kept clean sheets in 3 of them. I think the one against Monaco, I think 3-0 in the 2004 Champions League final. His Inter Milan beat Bayern Munich 2-0. I think the time he managed Manchester United, they beat Ajax 2-0. The only one I think that they conceded in was the Celtic game, 3-2, and it went to extra time. Yeah. So this is a man that lives for finals, Paul. I mean, I think the reason why I think he had a little jibe at Tottenham was because they sacked him 2 or 3 days before a cup final, and I think he really wanted to get his hands on another trophy while he was at Tottenham, because he's a very proud man. Everywhere he goes, he wins trophies, except for Tottenham, but he feels he was robbed of a chance of winning that trophy. So he's back in the big time again, Paul. If he can win this match now in the league. I'm not in the league. I think they've slipped out of the Champions League position, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and sorry, no, this week I forgot to mention at the start. There's a huge carrot as well. Not only if you win this tournament and his own right in the cup and the trophy and the success in that, but you get a ticket to the Champions League next year straight into there's huge money in that.
Yeah, straight in, Paul. Straight into the group stage. You're actually a top seed in the group as well. We have the Champions League because you were going in as Europa League winners. So no qualifying rounds or nothing. This is the carrot. I think that it was a good thing from UEFA for what they did was if you win your Europa League, you're guaranteed a place in the Champions League. And I think teams, particularly maybe the English teams and the Italian teams, you know, the big clubs are starting to try to take this Europa League a lot more seriously because they know they get the financial reward, as you said, getting into the Champions League. Now, you don't get a chance to defend your title, but I think a lot of clubs would prefer to play in the Champions League than the Europa League. I mean, I have to do is just as Liverpool and in my own club Chelsea, we'd rather play in the Champions League than the Europa League. But let that be. It's a huge thing. I think it's improved the quality of the competition since they actually made that decision. So I think Roma and Mourinho will be all guns blazing out to try and get into the Champions League for next season and be a top seed by winning the Europa League.
Yeah, I suppose if we go back to Italy, as I mentioned before a couple of episodes ago, you have the Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juventus in the north of Italy. They get most of it in the international publicity. But Roma and Lazio, of course, they're in Rome, and you have Napoli down in Naples in the south, who won the league championship this year, the Scudetto. But Roma are a huge club, but sometimes they feel too, they have a slight chip on their shoulder, even though they're in the capital, Rome, that sometimes they don't get enough international recognition of what Inter and AC and Juventus get. So would that be another little bit of incentive?
Yeah, and as you said yourself, what a better man to have a chip on his shoulder than Mr. Mourinho, because he'll definitely bring the attention to Roma ever since he got in there. Now he won the Conference League. I think he won their first European trophy in a long time, and he's gone for two in a row. He's gone for a Conference League last season. He's gone for Europa League, and if he wins, he's top seed in the group stages of the Champions League. So he'll feel he's back in the big time, Paul, or he'll feel he never was out of it. But so I think it's an intriguing game there, Paul. The cup specialist in terms of manager, winning numerous trophies in finals against the team that are absolutely adore this competition. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't think ever since they got to finals in the Europa League or the UEFA Cup, I don't think they've lost one. No, I'm up to correction. Yeah. I'm up to correction that maybe.
Well, hopefully somebody listens to the show now and proper comment and correct us wrong there, but I can't comment on that anyway.
Yeah. I'm talking maybe since the revamped maybe the Europa League. Because they definitely haven't lost a final. I think since it's been known as Europa League, as far as I know. So I think I give my edge to Roma. I know you're saying Sevilla, but I just think Roma might just do it with the cleverness of Mr. Mourinho. If he can get ahead, I think he'll help Roma just by edges.
Yeah, and of course,